strong men make good times. We look at what happened through the 50s and the 60s in this country.
It was a boom.
Economic boom. And it kept going through the 70s and the 80s.
These are your people. Help us. And Mr. Strickland said, you know, what they're doing to you is wrong. So I want you to take your tribe and move them out to my property.
I think this is the most beautiful campsite that I've ever been to. Look at this view. Today, we'll visit Cheaha State Park in Alabama. The plan is to fulfill a dream to camp on the top of the mountain with a beautiful view. Our ancient Stoic teachers tell us that it's better to curb our expectations so we can easily deal with likely disappointments. However, it's difficult to control a flying spirit once you get to these mountains. It just leads you back to nature, where camping, hiking, and meeting other nature lovers will rejuvenate your mind, body, and soul. Cheaha State Park is located on the southernmost tip of the Appalachia mountain chain, and it is the highest mountain in Alabama. It is also the oldest state park in the state, established in 1933. The scenery in this park is just stunning. It is surrounded by Talladega National Forest, and you instantly feel like you are in some remote area, although it is only a 90-minute drive from Birmingham in the west and Atlanta in the east. I think this is the most beautiful campsite that I've ever been to. Look at this view. This is the prettiest campsite I've ever been to. It's on top of Cheaha Mountain. The view is absolutely beautiful, gorgeous, and the weather is perfect. As you can see, when I reserved a spot down at the store, they told me this is the best campsite in the whole state park, so I'm really grateful for that. I'm definitely gonna enjoy it. So if you ever come to Cheaha Mountain, try to reserve campsite number 120 and you get this, and you're not gonna be sorry. Camping under the stars and the moon. This is what camping is all about. There are 13 short trails you can choose from. If you like long hikes, there's a 130-mile Pinhoti Trail that runs through Cheaha State Park. But most people come to see the main trail and attraction, the Bald Rock. Isn't this something? Near the campsite is Bunker Tower, a viewing tower built in the 1930s on the highest point of the Chiha Mountain. It was built by the Civil Conservation Corps, which employed over 65,000 men throughout the state during the Depression years in the 1930s. Just next to this tower is a Civil Conservation Corps or CCC museum that it's worth exploring and talking with a knowledgeable park ranger.
The key takeaway with the CCC is it really prepared a generation of young men to go to war.
Yeah.
And Roosevelt faced a lot of pushback. Even his own vice president pushed back against him in a lot of situations. But prior to his election, things were so bad in this country. You see that soup kitchen? That picture was taken in Chicago.
Okay.
So who do you think put on the, developed the soup kitchen? Was
Mafia? Or was it Mafia?
Literally Al Capone. Horrendous conditions. People don't understand today just how bad it was. Okay, here you go. You typically quit growing nowadays around the time you're 19 to 20, somewhere around in there.
Yeah.
These guys came into this program. They were so malnourished. In the first 2 months from nutrition alone, they would gain, on average, 20 pounds of weight and 2 inches of height just because they had food. That's how bad conditions were.
People forgot that.
Exactly. We've gotten comfortable. But see, the Depression was very, very hard times. These men built over 800 state and federal parks, over 1 million trees a day, 2,835 dams a day, 53 miles of road a day. This is a per day average. It's an extremely, extremely rough number. And all of that occurred concurrently in 9 years. Then most of these young men went into World War II, joined the military, went overseas, and fought either in the Pacific or in Europe. And then they came out and had to rebuild the nation because we just came out of the Depression. So hard times make strong men. Strong men make good times. We look at what happened through the 50s and the 60s in this country.
It was a boom.
Economic boom. And it kept going through the 70s and the 80s. Now we look at what started happening in and around the late 80s, early 90s to now. Weak men create hard times. At the other end of hard times, create strong men.
Yes.
So,
cycle continues, right?
The cycle continues.
It wasn't easy to leave this amazing campsite, but it helped me to know that there's another interesting place to visit in this state park, the Indian Artifact Museum. Isn't it interesting to explore these museums and historical sites, especially with a knowledgeable and passionate ranger who is also a Native American historian?
He was a Creek chief, and he was present at the Battle of Talladega. Ended up helping the White Sticks win by going to get Jackson. But he's buried at the foot of the mountain down there. There's a memorial to him in a little store parking lot, basically, and that's where he's actually buried. The story behind it is, when removal began, the Indians who lived down in Shinbone Valley went up to a settler there whose name was Ansel Butler Strickland. And basically they said, we've lived here for years. There's been no issues between you, your people, our people, no kind of conflict. These are your people. Help us. And Mr. Strickland said, what they're doing to you is wrong. So I want you to take your tribe and move them out to my property. So they loaded up the tribe, they moved them out to his property. Once they got on his property, he sent a petition to the government that basically said, these people are off the land you want them off of. They're on my property. You have no say to my property, no control over my property, and you can't do anything with my property. Let them stay. And they let them stay. So the tribe presented to him a peace pipe, and that is a replica of that one. But yeah, some of the tribe were given the rights to live on his property instead of being forced out on the trail of death.
For those of you who love nature, camping, hiking, and history, this state park is heaven. Are you surprised by the beauty of this place? Did you learn or see something new? You may not agree with everything we've heard today, but it's all about expanding horizons and experiences. This could only be obtained by getting out of our comfortable homes. As I was riding on this beautiful Talladega scenic highway, I couldn't stop thinking about Mr. Strickland and all the other strong men of the past who built this country that we all enjoy today. Yes, we have all the comforts and riches that humanity never experienced before, so it's understandable that this comfort of the modern life has some negative consequences, especially for men. But we don't need to follow all modern trends. We can still learn to garden even though it's much easier to go to grocery store. The same is true for woodworking, construction, welding, and fixing things around your home. It's up to us to decide what to do when difficulties come. Are we going to record injustice on our smartphones just to have something to post on social media? Will the grown men continue to waste their lives on video games? Or someone will stand up for justice and freedoms the strong people of the past created for all of us to enjoy today?